that are currently open that because of morale and change of mission, the Biden administration, Secretary Mayorkas has been unable to fill. They can't get people to go to work for that man. You aware? So I could give you 100,000 more agents. But if you can't hire 500 Air and Marine agents, 1,300 CBP officers, and 1,700 Border Patrol agents, these are positions open right now. For years, they can't fill these slots. So go ahead. I'm giving permission to hire 100,000 more. You can't fill these slots. Gentleman's time has expired. Mr. Brecheen is recognized for 5 minutes for question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Two different times, 2 different days in a row, Congressman Tom Suozzi from New York has said some things, and I'm excited where he's coming from in terms of him talking about the need to secure the border. I told him privately yesterday, I caught him on the floor. You know, he's a Democrat, I'm a Republican. I said, thank you. But because I see, you know, and he represents New York, and he just came through an election, and his constituency, just like Mr. D'Esposito, who also is a Republican, represents New York, my assumption is the reason why he is having these positions, he just went through a campaign, and he's hearing from enough New Yorkers who experienced 9/11 who are saying to him, this position that the Democrat Party has, you will not get elected if you don't see my concern. The average American knows we are in danger because of policies that are not securing our border. It reminds me how we've changed in the last 10 to 15 years when you had, United States Senator Joe Biden say, the reason I believe in physical barriers in 2006 is because of the drugs that they are shipping between the ports of entries. Then he gets elected president, says not another foot, and shuts down congressionally authorized, congressionally voted upon, signed into law, 200 miles of border wall construction. What is happening? It reminds me of the story of the husband and wife driving down the road, sitting on 2 opposite sides of the vehicle, seeing this 16-year-old couple maybe coming past them on the highway, and they're sitting together, maybe holding hands, and the wife looks over at the husband and says, sweetie, why don't we sit like that together anymore? And he looks at her on the opposite end of the vehicle and says, well, I didn't go anywhere. I'm astounded that there are organizations that are advocating such amazing ideologies that say we don't need to have a secure border with physical barriers when the current president said that as a United States Senator when Barack Obama had a 100-mile border wall built. When you have, in the course of an administration, 3.5 years, this administration, north of 350 people on the terrorist watch list that have come into this country, 100 of which they did not catch and release them because there's so many people coming across the southern border, we don't have the ability to vet them. 100 people released into this country on the terrorist watch list. In the entirety of Trump's time, you only had 15 or less in 4 years. I mentioned that, Mr. Healy. You said a while ago you had a 20-plus year career with the FBI, and you were involved with the Terrorist Screening Center. You helped build that. So I'm going to ask you a question. Have you seen, because Director Wray, under the Biden administration, said we're at a whole nother level, his quote, we're at a whole nother level of threat. That's under this administration. He's being correct. I commended him a few months ago, saying, thank you for at least sharing, because he works for under this administration. He's being courageous enough to step up his game and say, this is a threat because of what's happening. Have you ever seen this heightened threat level in 30 years in working for the FBI that we are today because of insane policies?
Never.
So I want to look to the gentleman. I wrote it down, Mr. Narasta from the Cato Institute. Thank you. This long down the line in the order of those who get a chance to speak, I've heard you pronounce it a number of times at this point. Look, I've read some Cato things that I like. There are times in the past until I started watching y'all on your border positions. I was a fan at times of Cato positions. I'm astounded at where Cato is trying to take this narrative And why have you all moved so far to the position that you're at where you don't see that the woman yesterday, daughter raped, was before this committee, rape after murder after murder, and we don't understand we have to do all the above to secure that southern border. And to what Trump is talking about, there are criminals being released. If you're a country and you want to get rid of a criminal population, go north, young man, go north is the mantra coming from many of these countries. And we have policies that are allowing this. Do you think we're safer than we were 3 years ago?
There has never been a terrorist attack committed by an illegal immigrant who entered illegally on U.S. soil in U.S. history. It has not happened. I think you should focus on real threats that have actually manifested.
Mr. Austin, can I interrupt you because I'm
America.
over time? I'll just say, you're saying it's never happened. You're saying it's never happened.
Yeah, an illegal
What will you
immigrant
say?
has never
What
been
will you
attacked.
say when Director Ray is proved right and this threat has never happened, and it does happen?
I have a long list, 50 pages of predictions made about fear of terrorism happening, made going back decades. All of them have turned out to be wrong. I am sick and tired of this threat hyperinflation.
I'm going to wrap up, Mr.
Sick and
Chairman.
tired
but
of it.
Let me ask you this. If it was a family member of yours that was raped and murdered or murdered by Tren de Aragua, would that statement be different? That you say it's never happened?
We should focus 100% of our resources on security threats. We should take Border Patrol away from trying to stop workers trying to come in. We should legalize the flow of labor so we can focus on these. Of course, there are individuals who have
I yield,
committed
Mr. Chairman.
crimes who are legal immigrants. They should be punished, removed, incarcerated, and stopped, but we should focus on them.
The gentleman yields. I'll let the witness finish because he's sick and tired. All right.